Hey guys, I'm so excited for today's lesson because I'm telling you right now, what I'm going to share with you will absolutely change your life. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share my top 10 books that I've read that I honestly believe everyone should read from, number 1 to 10. I've read over probably 90 books since last year, January, which is just crazy. I've reread a lot of books as well. So, it's been an incredible journey, and what I've learned from books has really changed my life. The wisdom I've given, been actually able to attain. Now, a lot of people don't understand why you read books. Well, all these successful people, they're showing exactly how they've created success or their story on how they've done that. And instead of, actually going out there and finding these people, you can read their books and learn everything you need to know. So to me, it makes so much sense, especially reading books, back from the 1930s and stuff like that, like Napoleon Hill. So let's get straight into it. So look, number one would have to be Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. It honestly it really shaped my life and made me realize who I truly am and what the point of meditation is. Right, I thought meditation is about quieting your mind, but it's becoming familiar with who you are, familiar with oneself. Right. It also talks about how our personality creates our personal reality. And what I mean by that is if you always do, the same actions, same thoughts, same emotions, same behaviors, you're always going to create what you created, yesterday, you created in your past, because you're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It doesn't happen. In order for you to create a life you never have, you got to start visualizing your future and feeling that emotion, because your emotion, when you feel that, your body doesn't know whether you're experiencing it or you're, visualizing it. So that is how you turn your brain, instead of it being a map from your past, to a map to your future. And that's how you're actually going to change your life. So trust me, read that book. It was my number one. The second one is Winning by Tim Grover. Honestly, guys, I always thought there was something wrong with me. Like, I always thought, man, like, why am I just so selfish? Why do I have no balance in my life? Like, why do all I want to do is just win in life? And what I realized in this book, and it's honestly amazing. It's made me realize, like, that me having this mindset that I have of just determination and wanting to win at the highest level, there is nothing wrong with that. Now, in order to be, winning at the highest level, not just here but up here, or the highest in your industry, there's going to be sacrifices. Your relationships aren't going to be as strong as some other people. Your relationship with your family isn't going to be as strong because you're so focused on winning. Now, some people might think that's toxic, but understand, you've got Kobe Bryant, you've got Michael Jordan, and a few other people who have this mindset, which I have, and I always thought there was something wrong with me. And I always made myself feel bad about it. But this book made me realize that I'm okay and this is normal if I want to win at the highest level. And there is no such thing as balance when you want to win in life. So if you guys feel the same, you feel like you're working so hard and you struggle with balance, understand, in order to win at the highest level, there is no balance. The third one is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is actually what started my whole journey in reading. So many people, entrepreneurs, told me you got to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I heard it so many times, never read it. Decided to read it last year in January. First book I ever really read, and it just changed my whole perspective. It honestly changed my life. It's got me into reading. As soon as I read it, I was like, oh my god, I've learned so much, that I then read books and books every single day. Like, I read about 30 minutes to an hour every day. At the moment, when I'm on a 90-day run, I'm only doing 30 minutes, but normal days, an hour. So what this book taught me is you don't have to work for money, and you shouldn't work for money, because time is the most valuable asset. So why waste your time working for money when you can have money working for you, or people working for you, right? So it taught me, like, the cash flow quadrants, tax, how you don't want to be in love with a paycheck. That's like one of the biggest scams and conditions we've had the whole life, and a lot of people never break free from that. And honestly, it's what's allowed me to become an entrepreneur. So amazing book, 100% read that. I'd say the fourth would be The Compound Effect. This was my number one for a very long time, until I read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. But The Compound Effect was about compounding your habits over a long period of time. Now, for anyone who knew me last year, I had no habits until I read this book. It talked about how habits can really shape your life. I mean, we are literally habits, creatures of habits, right? And all I did is I implemented exactly what I read and did habits over a long period of time. And now look at the life that I live, right? I never would have thought of it would ever happen, but it was just about being consistent and building momentum. Now, I didn't understand what momentum was, like he calls it the big mo in the compound effect. But let's just say you had a snowball, right? There's a habit you're trying to implement in your life, and you're rolling it down the hill, right? At the start, you can easily stop that habit. You can easily just stop and give up. But once that starts rolling, that ball gets even bigger and bigger, like that snowball, right? Now it becomes harder to stop it than to continue to keep it going, right? So that's what you want to do with your habits. You want to do a point where you don't want to stop it because that momentum will stop. And you don't want, and it's become harder to actually stop than actually continue. So now it's become so much easier for me that I don't want to lose my streaks. You know, I've worked over 324 days straight. I've done cold showers for over 2 years straight. I've meditated every day for over 2 years. I've done like crazy habits, and it's all about building that momentum. Once the momentum's on your side, you do not want to stop it. So that book has completely changed my life, and I recommend it to everyone who struggles with discipline, habits, momentum, whatever it is. Um, the other one is what to say when you speak to yourself, right? I find a lot of people don't understand that the words and the thoughts that you have really do shape your reality, right? If you're focused on negativity all the time, how are you going to feel good? You're going to show up differently, and you're also just not going to believe in yourself. Imagine if you always said horrible stuff to yourself, right? How do you expect to be happy? How do you expect to be in a relationship and someone want to be with you when you're always upset? You're always thinking negatively, right? You need to remove those negative thoughts and the way that you speak to yourself. It's so important. And honestly, guys, if you haven't read that book, What to Say When You Speak to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter, like you need to. And don't worry, guys, I'll put all the books in the description so you guys can all buy it if you want to. Like I said, these will change your life. You will not be able to think the same after it. And look what it's done for me. So I'm product of the product. The next one would be Success Habits by Napoleon Hill. If you guys haven't read that book, great book. Napoleon Hill is just an incredible author. He also wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, which is a lot of people have recommended it's their favorite. To be honest, it's not mine. It's not in my top 10, believe it or not. And I'm excited for you guys to see what other books I've got. So Success Habits was just about, not taking information that you hear from people, because a lot of people, they hear something and they believe it's true before actually validating that information. They hear it from someone and then they share it, like rumors pretty much. Then also just kind of understanding like the higher intelligence. Let's just say whether you believe in the higher intelligence or not, but let's just say the Big Bang, for example. The Big Bang, when something explodes, everything is just not in order, right? It's just everywhere. What he talks about is there's a higher orderly intelligence. And what that means is everything's in order. And if a Big Bang was real, then that just wouldn't make sense. So what I mean by that is if you put a sunflower seed in the ground, a sunflower seed comes out. Not a tree or no apple tree. Like everything is in order. The seasons are in order. The sun, the moon, everything is in order. So there's something controlling it. So it's just really interesting the way that they spoke about it. And it's just about also how people deal with failure and like how the most successful people would fail and fail and fail and just understand that's just a stepping stone to your success. So there's a lot you can learn from that book as well. Great book. The next one is Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, I'm sure you guys know who he is. Incredible book. A lot of you guys probably read this book. It just talks about how to actually communicate with people and get what you want, but also help them get what they want. It's not about like fighting in a conversation, but more like knowing what they want to get them to do what they want, but also feel like it was their choice. And it's honestly just a great book. It talks about how important it is to actually remember people's names. You're going to build a lot more powerful friendships and trust with people when you can remember their names and stuff like that. So definitely read that book. It's all about leadership as well. So yeah. The next one is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill again. If you guys haven't read this book, it's honestly quite mind-blowing. So this book was actually written in 1938 from memory. 1938, and it was published in 2011. Now you're probably wondering, why did it take so long? Well, the book was so controversial on schools and churches that they couldn't publish it until 2011, until all the family of Napoleon were dead. That's how controversial it was. And I'm telling you right now, that was really controversial. Like, I was reading, I'm like, this is complete facts. And I can see why he would have probably been killed and his family killed if he published it. So if you guys are going to read that, like, I highly recommend it. It's like The Conversation with the Devil. So pretty much Napoleon is a very, very smart guy. He's created a lot of success, a lot of millionaires. And pretty much what happened is he somehow got into conversation with the devil. I'm not sure how he tapped into it, but he did. And the way that the devil and him have a conversation, it just blows my mind. It's like not something you could expect him to just come up with his mind. So yeah, definitely give that a read. The ninth book would be The Law of Attraction by Esper and Jerry Hicks. I'm not sure if you guys have read the book The Secret, but The Secret's it's okay. Look, I don't believe in just like thinking it and it comes to your life. I just don't believe that. I believe that the law of attraction in attraction is action. So you got to take action in order to correct that life as well. But it was just another way of looking at law of attraction, and it really just blew my mind. Like it was just incredible. Like the kind of amount of detail that went into the law of attraction, and I loved it. Let's just say, for example, right? There's someone who's on the street. They're very poor. Now you're looking at that person like they're up, they're poor, and you feel sorry for them, and you wish they were better, but you're kind of just feeling sorry for them, right? Now, deep down in their subconscious, they're feeling the same. They're feeling crap. They're feeling poor, and by you seeing that in them as well, you're making that connection even stronger, that reality even stronger. But if you look at them and you see them happy, you see them wealthy, you see them, not living, on the streets. Well, guess what? A part of them wants that. They want to be happy. They don't want to be poor, and they don't want to be living on the streets. Now, because you've now, looked at that as well, now that reality become stronger, and now that law of attraction can work and create that life for them. But if we continue to look at people of what we want, what we don't want to see in them, that's exactly what they're going to get. But if we look at people what we want to see in them, that is what we will create. So, like, if you have people in your life who you see obviously doing drugs, and all you do is focus on them doing drugs or whatever it is, what if you start looking at them and seeing them without doing drugs and seeing healthy and fit? Because obviously deep down, whether they want to believe it or not, that's what they want. So believe in people and what you want to see, not what you don't want to. It was a really, really good book. And the last one is Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Amazing book, guys. Tony Robbins, absolutely life-changing. Went to his event like a month ago and it changed my life. Now, this was just really cool. He talked about beliefs and pain and pleasure and like how you actually break an addiction through pain and pleasure. It was really interesting. Like, let's say, for example, it's hard to break addiction, like let's say smoking, because you get so much like it releases stress when you breathe out the smoke, right? And what he did is he got someone to smoke so much cigarettes to the point where even them thinking of having another cigarette made them like want to vomit, because he just gave them like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cigarettes, and now they never want to touch cigarettes again. So now instead of it was pleasure, it was like pain, because he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this more. So he just chucked them all out. And I just thought that was really interesting. Like another way, let's say you want to hold yourself accountable. Let's say you want to start working out every day at the gym. Maybe you get a friend that you know is going to hold you accountable, and have dog food or something, right? Have dog food on the counter that you're going to look at. And if you don't go to the gym, you're going to eat that dog food. Now there's pain, right, towards not going to the gym. So now you're going to make sure you go to the gym. It's really interesting. And another one is, a lot of people don't understand how the words we use create meanings and emotions in our life. Now, what I mean is, let's just say, oh, I've had a crap day, I've had a bad day, I've had a horrible day. Guess what? Saying those words are going to make you feel horrible, going to make you feel crap, going to make you feel bad. What if you start changing your words to, oh, I had a mission of a day, I've had a challenge of a day, I've had a character building day. Now it doesn't make you feel crap. It doesn't make you feel like it's too much to deal with. So understand the words you use will make your life harder if they are words that are going to make you feel disempowered. So to me, it was just really cool to understand how important our words are. Now, they're my top 10 books, guys. Again, I'm going to put them in the description. All I'm going to say is a warning for you guys. If you do read these books, you will not be able to think the same. The people you surround yourself with just won't be the same people again. And the things you achieve in your life will blow your mind. But only if you read these books. And that's the truth. I mean, if you guys want the life that I have at 23 years old, I'm telling you right now, read those books and you'll have somewhat of what I have, because those books have shaped my reality, have shaped my life. And I want to give you guys as much value as possible. So I've read, like I said, over 80, 90 books. I've compiled them into like a top 10. And those books will change your life. And I bet you've never heard a book like that before. So anyways, guys, have an amazing day, amazing night. And thank you so much for jumping on, showing the support. And also, if you guys have any books that you recommend me read as well, chuck them in the comments below. Would love to read them. I love reading books. I love and I understand the more you learn, the more you earn. But also, knowledge isn't power. Knowledge is only power when you apply it or when you share it. So that's the reason why I'm sharing, because I believe the best way to learn anything is to teach it to other people.